The feeling of hunger is a natural physiological state of every living organism, caused by the need of food. At least one time a day we are crying, "I am starving," but it's rather a drama or exclamation. And this situation is not bringing any inconvenience, because anytime you can open refrigerator and grab some snack or lunch, anytime you can order takeout or go to the restaurant. But imagine that you open the refrigerator and there is no food, and you urge yourself to the groceries but there is no food, or you want to go to your friend's house to ask for food and there is no food either, and there is no food in any neighborhood, town or city. And this situation is ongoing not only for one day, but during 24 months. And this exact situation Ukrainian farmers were experiencing during 2 years of Holodomor. And curious thing that Stalin and Chekists, I want to clarify word Chekist. It is old word to describe the department in Soviet Union who were fighting dissident political thinking. So they were fighting all normal people. So after it was renamed to NKVD, after to KGB, so call it what you want. So Stalin and Chekists wanted not to kill people on the first place. They wanted to break people. And they were using any method that influenced mental health in the first place, like Russians are doing now. So the main goal of Stalin and Chekists was to break Ukrainian spirit of resistance in the villages and make Ukrainian farmers submissive to any barbaric, cannibalistic and revolting policy that Stalin did to them. And guys, USSR succeeded in sort of way, because they made Ukrainian free spirit to fall asleep for decades, and those who survived has never talked about Holodomor publicly, only whispered to their children in the quiet room their own experience of surviving, and to educate their children and grandchildren in the future if such situation happens again. My friend Julia paid for one book on my birthday, and I wanted to thank her and recommend this book to you. It's called Great Famine in Ukraine. It was insightful for me, and while reading, I finally understood why my grandma was so upset when I managed to lose some weight, and did not understand why we do not have a basement that full of potatoes or beetroots, and why we are not eating bread so often and have no flour at home. She thought that if your body has additional fat, you can survive during starvation time. Fat is healthy. That is why even now she's cooking and eating very caloric food. Holodomor influenced not only on mental health but also on biological body, because scientists noticed that survivors passed a special gene to their children and grandchildren that responsible for absorbing fats. So the ancestors and now our generation who were suffered from Holodomor on the districts of Ukraine, we are less resistant to obesity. My grandma always taught me, be grateful for food you have got to Jesus. Do not waste food, especially bread crumbs. All bread that have left not eaten, my grandma dried and eat as a crackers with salt. Save food in cans. When Granny calls me, the first question she asks, have you eaten today? What have you got? Do you want me to cook borscht for you? Some of that habits were transferred to my mom's behavior. Guys, when I was a young girl, we had a small village house. This house was very old, but had a lot of land around it. And every summer, me, my mom and my grandma went to cultivate the soil to plant our groceries. I have no footage of that house, but I found similar one in the internet to give you understanding. The house was built in the beginnings of 1910 and was wattle and daub, and it was really old, inherited from my grandmother. And this house, guys, has no any modern convenience. We had only electricity. We had no running water, no toilets, and no even heating except the stove. However, wooden stove is not a bad thing for heating. You know, we are burning the wood to heat apartment and it's working very well. However, I were asking my mom, why we are not renovating our house to be able to live there actually in the summer? Because the weather and the nature and lake was terrific. I like actually village. But she answered me that all free money we were spending for fertilizing and planting these groceries instead of renovation. In USSR, people were trying to get a piece of land for planting vegetables, partially because they did remember the horrific of 1930s and 1940s after the war, and because of deficit. And after work on the plants, they were urged to the second shift to provide food for themselves. And now, very important moment. I want you to check this map. Do you see these red areas? These districts were suffered from Holodomor the most, and Dnipropetrovsk district, where I grew up, also among of them. And now we have an answer on the question why Eastern people had so lack of knowledge in Ukrainian history and culture and had so low Ukrainian identity. Because they were in constant survival mode. They know that to be nationalist were equal to the hunger death. People from eastern areas clearly understood. To survive, they need to be like everyone else, like every Soviet person, not to pop up, not to be a nationalist, forget Ukrainian language and learn Russian. And most horrific, guys, that Holodomor itself was not initial goal of Stalin. He started Holodomor not because he was bloody psychomaniac. Yes, he was, but initial goal of his were collectivization. So he needed a lot of people with a lot of equipment work for him day and night in kolkhoz, collective community, to produce a lot of grain, because Ukraine had extremely fertilized soil and grain were very fruitful on these territories. And Stalin had a vision to plant grain and to export it abroad to get dollars, to get money for his crazy industrialization. Of course, farmers were resisting, and Stalin decided to oppress them. If you are resisting, you are starving. Chekists not only wanted not to give grain to farmers anymore, but they actually came into the house and grabbed everything poor people had in the storages and left farmers alone without food and wood in front of the winter. And they made it in most brutal ways, but still demanded farmers to join collective communes and work 12 hours a day. They checked every corner of the house, and even crying of kids or women's yelling did not stop them. I do not know how they were sleeping at night and have this man conscience. And it's terrifying to know that Putin is former Chekist and holds nuclear button in his hand. And to all fans of USSR that will write in the comments that all plants and factories were built by Stalin and USSR and now Ukrainians are using it, I want to answer. Please ask the question, what price have we paid for building these plants and factories? Have you knew that all factories were built by Gulag inmates? All railways in Russia were built by inmates of Gulag that were put in conditions worse than stray dogs and were treated worse than stray dogs. My grandma also had a joke about obsessive-compulsive desire of Stalin to reach and overcome US. She always told me that we will chase US, we will reach them, but we should not run ahead of them. I was asking, why, Granny? And she answered, because they will see our ripped underwear and naked ass. Ripped underwear and naked ass from poverty, guys. Guys, I just wanted to take a second to express my appreciation to everyone who are waiting here patiently while I drop video in the internet. I know that my videos, my long videos are rare because of my mental issues, you know, about burnout, but I'm better, guys, I'm improving. And my work overload. Last month I need to finish a big project, but it's already done, and I hope I will have more time for dropping videos, guys. And I also decided to prioritize YouTube as my main social media and prioritize my volunteer activity. So here you will see much more vlogs about volunteer activity. I've recently decided to join doing protein bars with my friend Mary and hope she will not deny me next time because I've committed to come. Also, I will post some content from the netting center as long videos, guys. If you are into such content, please tell me in the comments. And guys, if you want to support Jane as a content creator, thank you guys. I appreciate every donation and respond on every donation to DMs. So you can find description to this video and my Buy Me a Coffee and PayPal page, and your input is significant while this channel is not monetized, but I believe we are moving forward to monetization. We have 400 hours of watch time left while I will be able to apply for monetization, and I think in 2024 we will receive it, guys, together. And of course, I will continue to educate myself to create mindful videos that you can discover more about Ukrainian past and the reasons for collective Russophobia. Please like this video and leave a comment to help algorithm recognize it. See you guys in the next video.